welcome to lesson 7 of this course, How to Master Answer the Public. Now this lesson will teach you how you can use Answer the Public to understand more about the way people seek validation via Google. Because undoubtedly that is one of the ways that we use search engines, and that can be sad, but also for some people really empowering. Before we get to that, let's recap the learnings from lesson 6, which was all about advice and recommendation seeking. You learnt that using best in your seed term will help you get to advice or recommendation seeking terms much more quickly. You learnt that combining the learnings from previous lessons with that best seed will surface new insights. You learnt that people perform comparison searches in order to get to advice or recommendations around certain products or brands, and even specific features of those products and brands. And you learnt that by clicking on a term from an Answer the Public wheel, you can see the Google search results for that term. When doing so for terms that indicate advice or recommendation seeking, you can read through the forums and content pieces that Google serves up, and that can be a huge source of insight, which can help you to understand how the public is making recommendations around whatever comparison someone has searched for. Now, back to communities and validation, and specifically, we're going to look at how people use labels and statements in Google to find others who share their views, and then the language people use when seeking permission or assurance via Google. Think about something you really love doing, a passion of yours. Now think about how you'd convey that passion to someone else. Let's say you love skiing. In casual conversation, would you tell a new friend that you go skiing, or are you that passionate about it, or perhaps good at it, that you'd describe yourself as a skier? Let's take a look at how this language affects what Answer the Public generates with the example search term skiing. If we look at the top suggestions on some of the branches, remember that's the darkest green dots, we can see questions like, when was skiing invented? How skiing works? Are skiing Sweden? I'd probably ignore that one given that it doesn't make any sense. So, are skiing holidays expensive? Will skiing hurt my knees? And can skiing cause shin splints? There's loads more in there, and of course we've only looked at one wheel, but from a very quick exploration, I'd say that all the questions are quite informational, and it's probably not people who already ski who are performing most of the searches. Now that's significant because if you were a brand who wanted to target intermediate skiers or confident skiers, then you'd need to try something else. So let's now look at a different term, skiers rather than skiing. Already for me, the top searches are much more interesting. It's things like what skiers like to say, why skiers hate snowboarders, are skiers faster than snowboarders, and can skiers and snowboarders ride together? These terms are much less informational, although there are still some information-seeking terms in there. And they're full of competitiveness and rivalry, which creatively is great and full of potential. What's also really interesting is some of the statement-based searches you see on the R branch of the questions wheel. Skiers are annoying and skiers are awesome. This is effectively people who are so passionate about their opinion on skiers, whether it's positive or negative, that they're stating their feelings within Google in an attempt to find other people who feel the same way. They're looking to validate their own opinions or find a community of people like them. And it's a search behaviour you see quite a lot when you use a persona or a name for a collective or group of people as your seed term. Task. Have a play with this yourself. Think about who your customers are and what their passions might be. Do they do activities, or are their passions so ingrained within them that that's how they self-identify when they search? What do they call themselves? And if you can't think of anything that might work for your customers, try it with yourself. And once you've got some ideas, think about how you can use those labels as seeds in Answer the Public. Compare that kind of report to one based on a verb, so something like bookworms compared to reading. How different are the outputs? Way back in lesson 1, I talked about how we've likely all told Google things that we haven't told anyone else in our lives, our doctors, our partners, our best friends. I referred to the search engine as a modern-day confession box and a non-judgmental source of advice and help when we're in a tricky or embarrassing situation. The non-judgmental element of Google is what I want to focus on now, because we're going to explore what I call validation-seeking searches or permissive searches. That is people turning to Google to make sure that they're not alone in feeling or behaving a certain way or going through a specific experience. And this is actually where Google can be quite empowering. In your Answer the Public reports, it's the can branch that becomes really interesting around permissive search, with people literally asking Google, can I do such and such? Here's an example. I've run a report with the seed black dress. If you've ever heard the thing about how ladies shouldn't wear black dresses to a wedding, then you might understand why. If we jump to that can branch, you can instantly see that very point. So can black dress be worn to a wedding? but also can black dress wear to prom? Can we wear black dress to temple? Can we wear black dress on a Saturday? Can we wear black dress for interview? Can we wear black dress on birthday? And even, can you wear black dress in summer? All of these searches are people implicitly looking for permission from someone as to whether or not they can wear black in whatever situation they're anticipating. Of course, I appreciate that some of these needs for permission may be valid, particularly around sensitive areas like religion. But if it's your birthday, of course you can wear a black dress if you want to. For businesses and brands, this kind of insight should be really valuable. If you can uncover where people need help and are seeking permission, and can grant it in a supportive, non-patronising way that goes deeper than being a token marketing effort, then you'll really connect with your audience. If you work in an industry where secret or permissive searches are likely to be prevalent, so probably in an industry where people might feel certain expectations or like there are rules in place, then I'd implore you to explore the CAN branch around any relevant themes or products. That's it for lesson 7. Here's what you've learnt. Now you know the value of understanding your audience's passions, particularly when those passions are so strong that they've become a label. You've seen the difference between activity-based searches, so skiing, and persona searches, so skiers. And you now know when and why you might choose one type of seed over another, depending on what insight you're looking for. You've also now got an understanding of permissive search, so you know to explore the CAN branch in your Answer the Public report, particularly if you work in a field where permission or social pressure is present and you're a brand that could genuinely help.